I'm Clint, and I'm announcing the start of my new Patreon. What the heck is Patreon, and what does that mean for the future of this channel, and what's that mean to you? We'll talk about it all on this episode of Swatches. Let's start by getting everybody on the same page and answering the question of what is Patreon? Patreon is a really cool website service that uses crowdfunding to help creators create new content for their patrons. But it differs importantly from others such as Kickstarter and Indiegogo that you might know of, because those are one and done setups. They collect the pledges, create the product, send it out, then it's over. However, Patreon is a recurring service, making it not unlike a magazine subscription or Loot Crate, where every month you're going to get new content from that creator based upon what your pledge amount is. In the case of Swatches, that means making more in-depth educational material that won't be available here on YouTube. There will be a distinct difference between the content that you can get from one to the other. YouTube will continue and will have videos about 15 minutes or less and cover lighter fare such as art fundamentals and portfolio reviews, paint overs, questions and answers, that sort of thing. Patreon, however, will go more in depth. We'll go into the nuts and bolts of art theory and techniques and have exclusive series such as the Making Magic. Now, a while back I released a video on the Making Magic. It showed the creation process of 3 different magic images. That was very popular. You guys gave me a lot of great feedback on that. I'm continuing the series there on Patreon. In fact, the first episode is Making Magic. We take an hour-long look at the creation process of Gisela, the good, the bad, and you also get the PSD files, JPEGs, and a couple of other supporting media. For the last month, I've uploaded a new episode every week to the channel, and I want to keep doing that. But I can't. Honestly, it takes 2 days worth of time in order to outline, create the images, record it, edit it, upload it, respond to comments. That's 2 days of the 5 working days a week that I'm not making any money. I want to make this stuff. I like making these videos. I like talking art, teaching art. I enjoy that as much as honestly just creating it myself. It's one of my goals this year for Swatches to support itself. I don't want to have to live off of savings every time I want to make a new episode. And that's what I've been doing every time I make an episode. I'm just taking an unpaid vacation in order to create something that I don't make anything from. So if you want more content from me, let me know by becoming a patron or picking up some of my ebooks. I know comments are great. I love positive support. But I live in the real world, guys. I have rent. I have to put gas in my car just like anybody. If Swatches has helped you, then I would love for you to become a patron over there. Maybe it's not the highest one. Maybe you just go over there, leave me $1 and say, hey, this is a tip. Thank you for what you've done. I can't afford the full price, but I appreciate YouTube videos. Here's $1 once a month. I tell you what, every single one helps. I would be immensely appreciative if you would do that. Now, I'm going to wrap up this episode by giving you a clip from the first episode that you can get on Patreon. And we're going to work our way up to the sketch. One more and we'll get to the sketch. Tendrils and refining details. Okay. Again, wanting to establish some more visual interest, just some impact, something cool. This is where I came up with the idea for the tendrils. As you can see, again, this is just a lot of big blank area. It's not really doing us anything, right? And it's not serving a purpose other than just being the wings. So by adding the tendrils, I've brought some movement and some color and some visual interest to break up the monotony of the feathers. I'm pretty happy with that. Looking for shapes that allude to a sense of movement and breaking up from the red to the blue, and again using the larger gradients of color of blue to the red or to the purple color. And with the lighting here on these, I wanted to get the idea that there are semi-lucid, semi-transparent. So you can have the light sort of coming through them, but yet you still have the white highlight on the outside where it's being lit from the back. And one more, the background. Of course, we need to revisit the background real quickly because this is very messy. I could have probably sent it in like that and it would have been okay, but I did decide to go back and work on the background some. I went back and referenced that original image that he mentioned in the style guide about the tendrils coming out of the sky. And this is based very closely on that. Not exact copy, but very close. So those are the giant Emrakles tendrils coming out. I did purposely choose these like this because here we have the composition, right? We have that basic oval that the wings are making. We have her, and we have this dynamic. So this whole thing is very much on this angle, which means I don't want to put tendrils coming from this side like that, because that would point everything off the scene. There's nothing balancing out the angle of the character. So I decided that I can use the tendrils of Emrakul in the background to go like this. And that will counter the angle of her. Visually, you don't feel like it's totally off balance, that you actually have an X pattern of the character being compensated by the background. It was very much just a compositional thing. Patreon is a really cool website service that allows us, that's a new word.